The U.S. Supreme Court session came to a close last month. Most of the attention was focused on the retirement of the Associate Justice Anthony Kennedy. However, one of the last decisions from the current term will have a long-term impact on the finances of organized labor. CBS's Angelica Alvarez reports on what the court said.
Unions are calling it a major blow to organized labor. The Supreme Court ruling that government workers cannot be forced to contribute to unions to help pay for collective bargaining. Illinois government worker Mark Janis brought the lawsuit and calls it a victory for working people across the country.
This is going to give the individual worker the freedom to make their own choice now, where previously they were coerced and forced to pay.
School teacher Bitsy Galaska celebrated the ruling outside the Supreme Court.
And I don't feel it's correct for me to have to pay for opinions and political activities that I don't agree with.
The court ruled 5-4 that it's against the First Amendment to force workers to support unions whose messages go against their beliefs. Labor leaders work on behalf of all employees, not just their members, and that the ruling will cost unions millions of dollars. They promised on a conference call to mobilize and fight back.
Today, the Supreme Court has shown that it is part of a rigged system that benefits the wealthiest Americans and no one else, that silences the voice of working people.
Justice Elena Kagan wrote the dissent, saying the ruling overthrows a decision entrenched in this nation's law for over 40 years. Angelica Alvarez, CBS News, at the Supreme Court.
Rick Bloomingdale is president of the Pennsylvania AFL-CIO, and he joins us this morning on the Sunday Business Page, talking about the impact of Janus versus AFSCME and the state of organized labor in Pennsylvania and in this country. Rick, welcome.
Thank you, Rick. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Glad that you're here. What did you think when you heard it? A lot of people had said they thought this was coming. Were you in the same boat? Did you have a hunch?
You know, given what happened with the Supreme Court nomination and the Senate's refusal to consider President Obama's nominee, Merrick Garland, they were waiting to see what would happen with the election. And of course, once President Trump was elected, they picked a very conservative jurist, Neil Gorsuch. And, you know, at the time, they had done a previous case, Friedrichs, where they had found another person to bring a case against the unions and their ability to have agency fees. And, you know, with Scalia passing away, that left the decision at 4-4. So we knew whoever picked the next Supreme Court justice, it would be 5-4 one way or the other.
It was probably going to swing depending on what who the nominee was.
Exactly. So, yeah, we were expecting it, and you know, given that we had seen the Friedrichs and Scalia had asked, or Alito had asked that you know, Abood, which it was the precedent that agency fees were based on, we knew that he would be. They'd be bringing another case. So over the last 2 years, our unions have been preparing for it, reconnecting with their members, talking to their members, talking to the fee payers about you know, the importance of the union, what the union does for you. You know, the right to file a grievance, the benefits that they are able to negotiate, and encouraging people to go from being a fee payer to being a union member.
Are some union members saying that they don't understand what they're getting? Are some people saying they're not getting enough? What is it that you're hearing back?
Well, most of it's folks are, if they're not active in the union, they really don't know what the union provides. And, you know, if they go to work every day and they never need the contract, they're not always familiar. You know, they get their paycheck, they get their holidays, they get their health care, they get their pension. They all understand that this, you know, those benefits are there. They're not always sure about how they got those benefits, because most people weren't around for the big fights that led to AFSCME organizing the state, or PSEA organizing in the school districts, or, you know, SEIU organizing in the publicly owned hospitals and county courthouses, and all the folks that and the social workers that they represent. So they're not really sure how those benefits came about. So it's incumbent upon us as union members and leaders and activists to talk to our members and fee payers about what it is that they get for being a part of the union, a voice at work, an ability to push back when a boss, in Pennsylvania, we're an at-will state, so when there's no union, if a boss decides on any given day that he doesn't like the way, or she doesn't like the way you look or dress, or you came in with a new tattoo, they can fire you.
So what are the financial ramifications then? Do we know at this point? Is it too early to say?
It's too early to say because, again, this only deals with public sector unions. and it only deals with fee payers. So it has no impact on a union member and what they pay. You know, the Commonwealth's still deducting dues from the dues paying members. You know, different unions have different levels of fee payers. I think AFSCME had about 7 or 8%, they said. Teachers had 1 or 2%. Obviously, it'll be an impact. And, you know, this case brought by, you know, Mark Janus didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to bring a court case against AFSCME. Actually, the governor of Illinois, the right-wing governor of Illinois, Bruce Rauner, tried to bring the case, but they said you don't have standing. And then they went out and found a member, a guy named Mark Janus, and asked him to bring the case. He wouldn't have had the money or the wherewithal to do this. So it was corporate-backed, right-wing, you know, the big right-to-work foundations, all those big corporate groups that want to destroy unions by impacting our financial abilities. It had nothing to do with philosophy or anything. It has everything to do with corporate backing of you know, trying to destroy unions. So to answer your question, we're not sure of the impact yet. Obviously, there will be some because there are fee payers in those unions.
Sure.
Some of them will join the union, and some of them will get something for nothing.
Choose to do it another way. Rick, thank you very much for shedding some light on the subject. We
Absolutely.
appreciate your expertise, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Rick Bloomingdale, the president of Pennsylvania's AFL-CIO. When the Sunday business page continues, Wilmerding's Wabtec merging with GE Transportation. What exactly does that mean for jobs in our area? President and CEO Ray Betler will be sharing his thoughts from Wabtec when we come right back.